Alright guys, this is take two. We're going to try this again and see if it works out. If you're tuning in, be sure to let me know that you're there by saying hey. Let me know where you're tuning in from. I love to see that kind of stuff. And it keeps things interesting while you let me know that you're there. Today we're talking again about the Wise Owl paints. I'm going to be doing some more blending. I hope that the sun is not totally messing up how it looks on your screen. Hello, Becky from Missouri. Hey, Kim from Louisiana. Okay, good. It's working this time. Earlier, I don't know, technical issues. Who knows with this stuff? I used to be tech savvy and yeah, not so much anymore, but we're learning. We're getting there. Okay, so I'm gonna hop down here. Hey, if you can see me, I'm gonna see if I can pull it up with the computer so I can talk to you while I work. We're going to be looking a little bit more at the Wise Owl paint. Something I wanted to show you is just how little gooey gunkiness there is with these drawers. I may have mentioned in the video yesterday that normally I totally take the drawers and stuff out. It's just a habit. I don't feel the need to with this. I'll show you. I'll get the camera nice and close so you can see. But the paint settles so much, and there's a lack of the latex binders. There's no latex in it, so there's no latex binders to kind of gummy it up and goo it up and stuff. So I don't really have to worry about, there is a bug, everything sticking as much as you do with traditional paints. So, hey Michelle, hey Joni. Okay, and we're going to see if we can get through this whole video with no grumpy faces. One of them stuck yesterday and made me kind of sad. Let's see. Let me see if I can open this thing up so that your comments... We got to work on this Facebook. Hey Debbie. Hey Nikki. And I wonder... there is a way to make, what's with the grumpy faces? I don't understand. Just haters? I don't know. Sometimes it could be a slip of the finger. People get excited and just start pushing stuff. But no, I don't want to see grumpy faces. I just don't. Let's see. Also, I know somebody was asking, and I didn't know how to answer this, but they wanted to turn on notifications so that they know when I'm going live. So right now, if you go to the top right little area of the comment section, I think there should be a couple of dots or a little caret. You'll see where it says turn on live notifications. I think sometimes it shows up. I feel like Facebook is different on every platform. So if it doesn't show up, I apologize. Somebody was asking me about it, so we tried to figure it out together, and she let me know what she figured out. So I hope that works for you. Hi Thea, why grumpy faces? No, I love you. I love you guys too. I appreciate you guys putting up with me and my painting shenanigans. Oh, so hey, and yesterday somebody asked if I was just using water in my spray bottle. Yes, but I also mentioned that Dion, Turquoise Iris, if you don't know who she is, I don't know how you could possibly have missed her, but she's amazing. I talked to her this morning, asked her about the vinegar in the water bottle, and apparently that causes more of a crackled, separated effect. I can remember using this whenever I was doing gold spray paint on a mirror, and I wanted it to give me a mottled kind of aged look. So yeah, I totally get that. So if you want to try that, that's something that you can do. Maybe I'll show you guys that later and see what the difference is. But yes, you can put vinegar and water in a spray bottle. Not that I'm doing that right now. Right now, I'm just using water wherever my water bottle is. I will have to get it. And paint. That's it. Should have seen my shenanigans Thursday. I feel you. Yes, Jamie. Are you going to go live today? I thought you were going to go live today. Why did I think that? I'm going to have to check that out. Debbie says it's under more. Okay, so click on the doohickey at the top right, and there should be a more, and then like turn on notifications for live. Show you the S50. Okay, here you go. You only love me for my S50. There it is. So pretty. It's funny because the lighter bristles have now been dyed blue because that's all I'm using so far. So that's kind of funny. But it's super duper clean. I clean them really well. Yes, Klingon, this is wet. I have a wet brush today. It's nice and damp. So don't fuss at me for having a dry brush. It is so cute and it's so easy to it's so easy to handle and stuff. I love it. I'll let you guys stick to blending live. What? That's funny. Okay, so I guess I'm gonna get started, I think. Oh, I should show you. I also brought my artist brush over because I want to work on some details, I guess. Still don't know what I'm gonna do, but I'm gonna show you as I figure stuff out and play. But I also brought out some more paints. I've got my Snow Owl. All of this is Wise Owl, but I've got Snow Owl beeswax. Let me know what you think about me adding some beeswax in here. I don't know. We've still got our deep turquoise, Anchor. Also brought in Abyss. Abyss is a little bit more earthy, so I don't know that I want to use it, but I brought it just in case. And Mermaid Kiss. Mermaid Kiss is similar to deep turquoise, but if you look at them, it's a lighter shade. So it's almost got that more vintagey green kind of look to it than it does the deep turquoise look. But I think I'll be playing with that too. Yes, I want to see beeswax. Oh, I'm scared. I don't know. I don't know how to do the beeswax. We'll see. Also, I'm going to be distressing and revealing some more of that wood. So I've got my flexible 3M sandpaper, 220 grit. It's pretty much my go-to. What I love about the flexible sandpaper is it doesn't scrape, if that makes sense, as much as typical sandpaper does. So you've got the same grittiness, but it's just more gentle and more predictable. That's the thing, it's also more predictable. Also, like with these curved areas, I can kind of get it, can you see this? And pull it over the curved areas and do like a little shimmy effect to get it to sand really naturally looking on those areas. So yeah, that's why I love my flexible sandpaper. Love it. Yeah, Joni loves it too. Nikki wants beeswax. Y'all are trying to stress me out though, because I don't know. We'll see. All right, let me go grab my water bottle and I'll see if we can't get to work. So I've got my little water bottle today. Just so you know, look, I have it on a very fine mist. I get the one that you can adjust and turn, and it's just a very fine mist that I spray. It's not streaming whatsoever. And be sure to test it before you use it so you know what's going to come out of it and that nobody has picked it up to squirt somebody or something like that. Okay. So that is good. I'm going to take the camera and show you though all these little creases and stuff, and show you how I can open the door. And that, here's the thing about the Wise Owl paints is because it's got the acrylic resin binder, the adhesion is a hard adhesion. It's not a gummy, gooey, stretchy adhesion. It bites in kind of like cement, I guess you could say. So whenever you sand it, it sands hard and smooth, but also wherever it tacks to, it's a hard adhesion instead of it kind of like you would find with your windows and doors and stuff. If you overpaint with your house paint, it ends up sealing everything up. You're not typically going to find that with the Wise Owl paints because of the way it's made up. Leslie, hello. Thea, what kind of primer did you use? If you go back to 2 videos ago, I talk about this. I just used shellac. That's typically what I'll use. I will seal it off with about 3 coats of shellac usually. And the reason I do that is because I like the way it seals, and I knew I was going to want to see some wood tones under this as I distress and stuff, so I wanted to easily reveal those wood tones, and shellac would allow me to do that. Not to mention, I stick my little can gun on top of the shellac spray and I go to town, and shellac has this really nice leveling property to it. It's not gunky and gooey like a typical oil-based primer is. So I can apply it. It dries within 30-40 minutes depending on your area or the temperatures and humidity that day. But for me, it's really friendly. Just wear a face mask, for God's sake, because it is volatile. It'll hurt you badly, and we don't want that to happen. So always wear a face mask if you're using shellac. But that's my go-to for primers. There is also a white pigmented shellac that Sherwin-Williams makes that I love. And I will use that whenever I'm doing a really pretty white, light finish on something. But again, the shellac has a way of like recessing down into your piece instead of kind of floating on top and adding just that thickness. So that's why I prefer shellac. Usually it works out fine for me. Yes, Lori. So you'll want to watch yesterday's video. Lori's asking, do I paint the edge of the drawers, the part you see when you open them? It just depends. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I will take them out just enough to do the edge. Like, hold on, and I'll show you. See how easy that opened up? No sticking. I promise you I haven't messed with this today. I'll do this. There have been times where I took a stencil and gold and just did a really pretty shimmery stencil on the inside or the sides over here. I haven't tried decoupage yet. Scared of it. Don't know why. I need to try it. But it just depends. Right now, my focus is on looking at this as a canvas and painting it as it stands right now. And not worrying about those extra little things. Because yeah, I want the full picture at this point. More than likely, I'm going to come back and just take probably the anchor and just paint those edges, but then distress it back so that it's more of a faded look. I don't want it to be a harsh look whatsoever, because overall I want this to have a very flowy, pretty kind of feel to it. What are those fidget looking pesto thingies called, and where do you buy them? Oh, thank you, Leslie. You need to come play with me one day. Hey, Lisa. They do look just like fidget spinners. That's so funny that you say that. I wonder if I can, give me a second, and I will pull up my link for you. I've created an Amazon shop because I get these questions all the time. It's not really an Amazon shop, but it's a place on my blog where you can look at, hold on, where you can look at all of my favorite products. I say all, it's a portion, the ones that I've remembered to put on there, and ordered them straight from Amazon. So I will grab that for you. On there you'll also find the FIFO bottles that I put my paint in. On there you will also find my link to the Wise Owl products, including the Klingon brush. So I'll just throw that on there so you can see all of it. Debbie Curtis Caldwell says that she got hers at Harbor Freight. I will say, be careful of the ones that you get. I've got some, and maybe I'll show you in a second, that have got itty bitty wheels, and for my heavier pieces, they ended up, and it's called a leg dolly. leg dolly, they ended up buckling, and I had a tragic situation on my hands. Here we go. Let me find one that isn't an add-on, but you want the ones that have a slightly, and they are more expensive, not gonna lie, they're more expensive, but the wheel itself is a little bit wider, and I think made better. It's a harder material, so it just performs better, and you don't have to worry about it buckling up under you. I'm just gonna drop the link for that for you. Did it come up? So if you see them in the store, compare a couple of different ones. You'll see some that are narrow and kind of rubbery looking for the little wheels, and then some, Michelle, you have to swipe it over or something. And then some of them have wider wheels. Have you added paint into the spray bottle? No, the spray bottle is just water. I haven't done that approach yet. Are you doing that approach, Jamie? I'm not doing that approach. I don't want the drippies, I don't think. I just want, and I don't want the watercolor effect. I'm really just working on blending right now, so I'm not doing that. Did I get everything? Y'all are like on it this morning. Yeah, what kind of primer did you use? Okay, so I think I got everybody. Michelle, did you get the comments? Let me know if you did, because nobody else is really able to help you if you can't see what they're saying. I am gonna show you why it's really not that big of a deal that I left everything intact for this project, because it's not going to get gummy and cruddy and stick and all that good stuff. You're on the laptop. Okay, click on the video. How's the S50 doing for me? Is it thick? No, it doesn't feel thick. No. I mean, it's similar to the F50, so it should feel kind of thick, but no, I don't have, it's not overly thick. How about that? I don't see any problems with it. For me, it's perfect for the fit of my hand and trying to do these broader strokes. And for blending purposes, it's great. I have plenty of brush space to be able to load up 2 different colors if I want to. And it fans it out really nicely. I can't find anything wrong with the thing, to be honest. Michelle, did you get it? I'm going to take the camera over and got it, I think. Well, can you see your comment now? And Donna's and Jamie's. But again, going back to what Jamie was asking about the Klingon, if I press this thing together, like, I don't lose density in the bristles, and that's what you want to look for in a good paintbrush, regardless of the brand. You want to make sure it's one that whenever you press it, it doesn't collapse on itself, and this one doesn't. Okay, I'm going to assume for the second that Michelle got it. Bear with me one moment. I'm going to detach everything. Let's see. Okay, so we're going to come over here. Normally, I would say to grab a wine cork opener thingy, and you can screw it into there and pull. I can't find it. Don't know where it's at. But here you can see the gap. There's no, and even right here, it's harder for you to see than me, but this is, like, everything is very close right here. It's actually touching. So we'll see how that does. Down here, there's a large gap. Probably wouldn't have had a problem with any kind of paint down there. And I'll show you the hinges too, what happens with them whenever I open this, and there's movement right there. So I'm gonna pop this open. We're gonna watch right there. I can hear the metal catch on the inside, so bear with me as I jerk. Ah, there we go. And, oh, my screw came out. Okay, don't mind that. But yeah, and I'm feeling it. It's very smooth. There's a little bit of ruggedness. Oh, that's wood. At the bottom and right here, very smooth. And what I'll do, I'll still grab sandpaper and I'll smooth that out later, just because I want to, and I want it to have a pretty effect on the edges. But see, none of it stuck. Even right here where it was touching, none of it was sticking. At the hinges, I'm gonna open and shut. There's nothing. Now, I'll probably come back with some sandpaper or some, what's that stuff called? Like the green scrubby pads. And I will take a little bit of this away because I want to be able to see the hardware, but I'm not convinced of the finish I want in the hardware yet, so I'm not too worried about it. So yeah. Yeah, there's no chipping, there's no pulling. You know how sometimes you'll have the latexy type paints that you'll have one little piece that starts to pull and then it pulls everything with it. So then you've got like strips of yucky stuff, paint pulling everywhere. There is a mosquito attempting to suck blood out of this thing. Like, he is on a mission. Do you see that? Bless his heart. That's very interesting. I don't think he's gonna get anything. Okay, so, and that's where you can see some overspray happening from yesterday, and I kind of like it. I don't know if I'm gonna leave it or not, but I kind of like it. Go mosquito, dude. Okay. I'm gonna bring it back. I'm gonna attempt to set this back up without making you guys sick. Good. And let me plug it up so I don't lose you. Why do I paint the hardware? Why not take the door off and leave the hardware like normal? If you tuned in yesterday, you would see that we talked about that. The reason I left it as it is because this is my canvas. I don't want to do each individual piece alone. I want to look at this as a whole. I did that whole section at one time. I did this whole section. I want to see all of this at the same time that I'm painting this. So the approach is just completely different. Not that one way or the other is wrong. Just for this piece, I want to leave everything intact. And really, there's no reason not to. Now, the handles and stuff, those aren't going to be painted. I don't know what I want to do with them yet. They're a really dark finish. Let me see if I can. It's hard to pull it whenever... It's on rollers. It's on rollers, so whenever you pull, the whole thing pulls. This is the hardware. So I think I want to play with the brassy tones and bring that out a little bit. You can see it there. I don't know. I like the original hardware. The hinges, I'm just not terribly worried about. If I want to, I can scrub them later. My point now, right, though, is that I want to leave everything intact so that I can look at it as one big canvas. And that's just for this piece. Like I've said, there's most pieces, probably 9.910 of my furniture pieces, I've taken the doors and drawers off and done them independently. But typically that's because it's a flat color or a flat finish. Like I said, this is one whole canvas artwork. Lori says hi to Dawn. Dawn, say hi to Lori. Judy Leslie just joined us. Okay, so now that I showed you that, is there any other questions about anything? I'm going to go ahead and get started on, I wonder if I can get this more in the shade so you can see better. There we go. That's a little bit flatter, less sun. Let me give it a second and make sure that that's actually going to be helpful for you. And I'm going to tilt this down a little bit. I'm sorry, but this thing always ends up so jerky. And there's the bee again. Go away. Okay. So, I have, oh, Shannon. I've got my tank top on. See? Shannon was wanting to order some of the Drink Paint Love shirts, and I was telling her that I had one on today. I've got my sunglasses. Okay. Clean off the plate. Using my FIFO bottles. Why? Does anybody remember why I use the FIFO bottles? I'm gonna start quizzing you guys. That'll be fun, right? No? Not so much? I'm gonna take my deep turquoise. I'm gonna put some on there. And I'm gonna take the Anchor. And sometimes there'll be like a little piece of crusty right there from using it yesterday and letting it sit. So I'll take that off. But see, this is all I work with at any given time. Not much. And that helps to prevent some of the waste, because if y'all are anything like me, y'all think of this stuff as like gold. So I don't want to waste it. I'm going to, I feel like I'm missing comments or something. Are y'all good? Are y'all just like zoned in? Terry has joined us. Hello, Terry. Michelle Felmley and Terry are both fellow Wise Owl lovers. Terry also retails DIY paint, which I've never tried DIY paint. And we all retail Wise Owl. Okay. So my brush is damp. The surface is damp. I'm gonna do a little bit more up there because I don't think I've got it enough. And once again, we're gonna work on shading the outside and then coming back with the deep turquoise on the inside. I'm not gonna mess with the other colors too soon because I didn't do that over there, so I don't wanna do it over here, not yet. I'm gonna take my Anchor. Hey, Terry. And I'm going to bring it up here. And here's a neat little trick. If you have got these little carved out areas that you would like to be a certain color, something that's great to do is simply go ahead and paint that whole area the color that you want the inlay to be. Inlay, I'm sure that's not the right word. That recess to be, and then just paint over kind of sideways with the color that the rest of the piece is going to be. And then that leaves a nice, rather crisp look to that inside color. I'm not doing that right now, so, but I just thought I would show you because I was thinking about it. I don't know if y'all noticed, but over there, it didn't blend as much as I wanted it to. I was much more focused, I think, on trying to get out the door to pick up my daughter from school. So what's nice about this is I'm able to take sandpaper and kind of go over the whole thing. The base coat was the deep turquoise. So if I sand where I see the Anchor, it's just gonna reveal more of the deep turquoise. So that's gonna be an option later on. And I can feel that it's starting to get a little bit dry. It's not moving quite as much as I want it to. So, just spray it. And what's nice is really, it doesn't matter how much it dries. Before it has cured, I can reconstitute it with water pretty much. If I really work at it, I can probably come over here and just kind of scrub it away. I don't really want to do that though. And that's just, it makes it really workable because of that. For me, that's a plus. I realize that's not a plus for everybody though. I wasn't fussing at y'all for being so awake today, just so you know. I said that and now I feel like everybody's gotten really, really quiet. Y'all just must have had more coffee than I have. so I'm not feeling that on it. And see, now I find myself holding the brush like this. I love this bulbous part at the bottom. Klingon, if you're listening to me, it could stand to be a tiny bit bigger, maybe, for an even easier grip. But I keep finding myself grabbing it, and it's very comfortably in my hand. It's not knocking around. I'm not flinging it because it's knocking around. It's comfortable. Great for feathering and working those details. I can see there's something right here is catching the paint. So I'm gonna try. Okay. Yay! I'm not going to go too far into the designed area right here, but I do want some blue in there. I like that turquoise kind of playing, especially in this hard little crease right there. And remember, everything that I share with you guys, it's not a rule. It's just what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. And if you ask me in a week about a process, I may give you a slightly different answer. It's an art form. So don't stress too much about doing it the right way. Yay! Terry just ordered the, not for me of course, but she ordered the deep turquoise and the anchor. I say not for me because I don't want y'all to think that I'm just trying to, what's a good word? I'm just trying to sell product. I'm much more interested in inspiring and teaching and encouraging, because whenever I first got into the industry, it was hard to get good information. It was hard to find people willing to share good information. So I really love, and I've only got like that much knowledge. But I really love being able to share it with people that apparently have, you know, a little less experience than even I do. Because I'm not all that experienced. But each of us learn different things, different ways, different techniques that we can each stand to learn from each other about. See, I love the way I'm starting to work away the paint in those areas, and that's what I wanted to have happen. So I've got these hard raised areas that the wood tone is starting to come through. That's what I want. That's what I want. That's what I want. And so you just keep grabbing paint, keep playing with it and working it, and just gradually bringing one color over the next. I'm going to grab some of the deep turquoise. Thank you, Karen. Because I want more turquoise in this area. And remember, the turquoise that's on here is only the crumb coat that I call. So it's not a completely opaque turquoise. So in those areas I want to make sure, now this is completely opaque. And I want to make sure that that's the case. That way what wood tone we do see is intentional. I want it to look like I meant for the wood tone to be there, like not completely haphazard. Bring that back in. going to bring some more of the turquoise in here. There is something right there. Once again though, I love the fact that I'm using this brush, and while I may find some trash, as I mean I'm working outside, what am I expecting, but I don't have pieces of brush and bristles all throughout my paint finish. That would drive me absolutely crazy, and it has in the past. I'll take my turquoise, bring it back up here again trying to get this to be more opaque, so I'm seeing less of the wood tones under there. Now that it is opaque, I'm going to grab some more of the Abyss. Did I go out of the frame again? I did. I feel like it's weird whenever y'all hear me talking, but you can't see me. So I'm going to scoot. And I'm going to scoot him that way. Is that a little bit better? Yeah, whenever you can hear a voice and you don't see the person. Unless it's like seriously an instructional video. It is so beautiful here. What's the weather like where you're at? I'm just curious. I'm really enjoying our, this is a fall day. Like, it is the perfect temperature. The leaves are changing, which means they're falling, so that stinks, but I'm trying to look over at the other drawer. I'm not loving that drawer over there, so it really doesn't matter if I match it or not. Not that I want to overly match, but just, you know, kind of. Okay, I do want to show, because a lot of the big questions are coverage. How much does the paint cover? You saw that little dollop of Anchor that I put on my plate, and that's what I did with it. So that gives you some idea. The pigmentation in the Wise Owl is really, really saturated. So it goes really far. I like it. I'm trying to think. Tina is talking about a sophisticated pink. Blush. Michelle or cruddy duddy do, y'all. Don't you hate it when your brain just don't work? Terry, do y'all know, are we still carrying blush? Because it seemed like that was a really nice kind of pink. And I would say if you took the blush in the same way as I'm doing this, blush is the crumb coat, the base coat, and then took one of our like chocolate colors and played with it in the same way. Take the chocolate on the outside, the blush in the middle, being very, very conservative with the chocolate. That would be amazing, I think. Jamie, you haven't bought one of these brushes yet? Seriously? Petal. Petal's one, isn't it? Or is it? Who knows what the light pink colors from Wise Owl are. Of course, we love our blues, so blues are numerous. Blush was one of the pinky colors. But I don't know. I don't know of the other colors. Or if there is another color. I'm pretty sure blush is one of them, though. It's in my shop. But yeah, so all of that Anchor with just that little dollop. Pretty good. I'm going to get some more because this isn't looking as opaque to me as I think I want it. A little bit too much of the turquoise is coming through, and while I want it to fade and blend, I don't want to see too much of one color through the other one. Does that make sense? The areas that are Anchor, the deep navy color, I want it to be Anchor, dagnabbit. And the areas that are not, I do not want to. I want it to be a blended transition from one color to the next rather than seeing a bunch of one color through another color. I'm going to spray a little bit. And see, once again, it had gotten nice and stiff and dry, but instead of it pulling away and starting to peel, it's basically reconstituting. Did y'all answer? Would Wise Owl be good to do wood signs that include vinyl? Yes, I think so. Are you leaving the vinyl on there? I'm curious because I've got a post or two on it. Personally, I prefer using the vinyl to create the stenciled effect, but then take the vinyl off. So you use a base coat, lay the vinyl, and then do another color, take off the vinyl, and you've got the initial color as the design. That way you're not worried about the breathability of the vinyl and how that's going to act. So I'm curious what you do. Yes, exactly, just like spit. Water reconstitutes it. Reactivates. Hey, that's a better word. No, like a stencil almost. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's perfect for that. Why? Partly because I was talking about with the lack of any kind of latex, you're not going to have the pulling and peeling. So a lot of times we'll do the stencils, and no matter what we do, we try to pull up the stickers or whatever, the vinyl, and it pulls up the paint. You don't have that problem with this because of the way it dries. It doesn't dry to be gooey and gummy, so it doesn't pull itself up as you're pulling the vinyl up. I'm talking too much and I'm not working. So yeah, I've actually done some signs with Wise Owl, and I love using it for that purpose. I think it's ideal because of that, the way it works. And y'all, right now, all I'm doing is I'm adding a little bit more paint because I want a more opaque look, less of a look of translucence where I'm seeing the wood through it. I'll come back and sand where I want to if I want to have wood. So, aside from like these edges, I like where it's pulling right there. But the flat surfaces, I want to be a nice color. Again, I'm getting a little bit. I'm actually going to spray the brush this time. Why am I spraying the brush? Because if I spray right here, it's going to get spray on other places, and I don't necessarily want that. So I'm just going to spray the brush this time. That way I can kind of be more localized and in the blending. Awesome. Did I give you the shop for that? Also, just so you know, if you are going to buy the Wise Owl paint right now, in my shop I've got it set up so that if you want to give it a couple of weeks, go ahead and order and pre-order one of the S70s if you're wanting one. You can do an add-on, so it's a little bit less expensive. You just have to wait for the shipment to come back in before I can send everything out at one time. Did I do that right? There's the link to the shop. You are so welcome, Debbie. And that's why I like this kind of stuff. I'm just going by and checking out your comments and making sure I'm not missing anything. You're so welcome. I appreciate it. And you're always welcome to message me if you have any questions or anything like that. I'm happy to help. I've become a professional by no means. I'm not a professional, and I haven't been schooled or anything like that, but what I have done is tried a booty load of paints, lots and lots of different paints, from true powder form milk paints to the General Finishes style milk paint that's actually an acrylic. I think it's acrylic, right? I don't know. Annie Sloan, of course, Pure and Original. Like, there's lots of different paints that I've tried, and I've been able to finally comfortably say I've found like the product line that I love and that I will actually stand behind, whether it's the people or the product itself. I actually stand behind Wise Owl. I love, love, love them. I love what they stand for and their care for the earth and the environment and the people that inhabit it. I love their position on their retailers and how they take care of everybody. It's a great business, beautiful business. Our creator actually knows the science behind the stuff, and she wasn't just willing to just put her name on some sort of paint so that she could sell product. She really honestly knows the science behind even like the chemical makeup and how everything works together and the best way to put the components together, and it's just awesome. Right? And the owner will never sell out to a corporation. I'm really proud of her for that. I know that can't be an easy decision to make sometimes, because owning something like this is a huge undertaking, and we appreciate her. Thank you, Suzette. You're welcome, Deborah. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm just going back and making sure I didn't miss anything. Okay, so I'm bringing a little bit more of the anchor in. And once again, there is no right or wrong with how much or how little. It's more about how you're feeling and being an artist with it. Once again, I wish you could see just how smooth this is. There's no brush marks, there's no strokes, there's no build up. And I guess, we were talking about like the latex paints and the paints that have more filler, more of the binding properties than they do the colors. Whenever you use the best parts of each element, the way Wise Owl has done, you cut out so much of the unnecessary. Like, I don't have to sand this down to get it smooth. There will be no sanding smooth involved here. So that's less product that I'm just sanding away and down the drain. That's another way that we appreciate the way it's made. It's something that we can rely on. Yeah, I'm a fan. Oh, hello, Deborah from Western Australia. How cool. What time is it there? I always get thrown off. I have a couple of online friends that are from South Africa and Australia, and they'll do these awesome good morning posts and good night posts, and I'm completely thrown off every time. Hey, Jerry. Well, girl, it will be posted, so you can go back and check out everything that we've talked about. No big deal. There was some pretty juicy stuff, so you should totally go back and look at it. Okay, so I'm pretty much done with the front. I'll hit this later. I'm not worried about it right now. But you can kind of see where I'm going with this. So now what? Darn it, darn it, darn it, darn it. Am I gonna do this now? I don't know. I don't know, guys. Okay. It's just paint. It's just paint. And if you don't like it, you paint over it. Or if you don't like it, you remove it not the be-all, end-all. I've got some white Snow Owl. I've got some Mermaid Kiss, which is the lighter teal color. And I guess, hey Karen, I'll go ahead and add the beeswax and see if I get enough nerve to use it. Ah, I know it'll be lovely if I do though, right? Right? Yeah, it will be. It will be. Kim, I don't know. I'm scared. And it's funny because like I've done this before. I do this. It's nearly midnight. Oh, bless your heart. I hope you're enjoying this. It is 11 o'clock or 11:30 a.m. here. Okay. So what I'm gonna do, I've switched over to my artist brush because I needed to. I'm getting like itty bitty detailed areas, so I'm probably going to take this, place it where I want to. I may blend with the other brush. We'll just see. The thing is, I want you to see that you don't have to be scared to do this stuff. We can get so caught up on this vision that we're supposed to have in our brains of exactly how it's supposed to look, when especially with it not being a commissioned piece, I can have creative license and just play. And through playing, I get to learn how the products act, how my techniques are performing. Even this right here, I don't know if y'all can see that. Probably not. But right here is this really kind of mottled kind of look because the brush was dry and I kind of scraped against it. So I've got like a textured kind of look happening. And you know what? I like it. It's cool. So I'm going to leave it. How does the gray in this product look? I have a dresser that I've kept for years. There are a couple of amazing grays. They've got some true grays as well as I think peppercorn is a little bit more of a warm gray. I wonder if I can grab you the latest color chart. Now this isn't all of the colors. These are our gonna stay for quite a long time colors. But I don't know of any seasonal colors that were really gray, so that wouldn't even have any bearing on you. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna see if I can find that color chart. Do y'all remember Hamster Dance? Did anybody here see that whenever they were a teenager or whatever? Yeah. It's not gonna let me. I'll have to drop it later. Or I will just put it on the main page for you so that you can see it there. How about that? And I've got the colors posted in several different places, but I want you to be able to see it quickly so you can see what I'm talking about. We love grays and blues, and there's several of each of those. Okay, I just posted it. And so yeah, there's some warmer ones. Gustavian, is that? Yeah, that's definitely a warmer one. That's also a seasonal one. But there's some cooler ones, some darker ones, medium, light. Yeah, there's lots of different grays. Bear with me. I'm sorry. I'm looking at comments. You're welcome, Suzette. Yes, you can purchase from me. I appreciate it. Also, I'm doing a special right now on the S50, so if you're interested in it, this is the time to do it. You can go ahead and do a pre-order, which means that if you order it now, you don't have to worry about them selling out before you get one, which keeps happening with all the Klingons, not just this one, because this is very new. But if you do an add-on to your paint, then the brush becomes cheaper. So instead of just buying this by itself. The only caveat with that is, you know, you have to wait for the brushes to come back in, which should be another few weeks. And then everything goes out to you at the same time. And I dropped the link to that earlier, I think. And I will do it again because I don't mind. I appreciate it. Here is the shop. Exactly. Tina, she's saying thank you for kind of reminding you guys that it's just paint. If you don't love it, you paint over it. It's not that big of a deal. It's really not. And as a matter of fact, this paint is a great primer. Remember I said that I use it as like a crumb coat? Stuff sticks to it. So if you want to paint a whole different color on there, you can totally do it and it will stick really well. Something in my eyeball. Okay, so Suzette, I hope you are able to look at that color chart and see the grays. And yeah, I just dropped the link to my shop for you. Okay. Y'all can see I'm procrastinating, right? Okay, okay, okay. So I've got some white. And I am going to just kind of go in here. I like to think about how stuff happens over time and how sometimes like stuff, I don't know, a dripped candle or a spilled drink or whatever. I know that sounds gross, but it will find its way into these little pockets, these ridges, and kind of recess right there. And that's the kind of stuff that will guide me on where to lay the new colors. I don't always do that. You can look at the whole piece in a different way, but that's one of the ways that I can kind of decide on where I want to put colors. Or if I'm looking at trying to highlight a certain area or something like that, I'm thinking about where the sun is shining from or where the focus should be, the highlight as compared to the shadow. I'll work from the outside in, giving more depth to the bottom area so it doesn't look like the piece is floating in the air. It kind of grounds it a little bit. There's all kinds of things that you can think of to kind of guide you a little bit while you're painting and figuring out what to do where. I got this nipples. I can't breathe. Do you have any videos on the glazes? Confused on how they work. I've used the Valspar glaze. I don't like glaze. I don't, because they are the opposite of everything I love about Wise Owl. Wise Owl is the hard resin finish. It sands really smooth and hard. Glazes tend to be exactly the opposite. There's a lot longer workability before they dry, and then once they dry, it's the I don't know. It's just that different kind of feel to it. I don't prefer it. So if I'm gonna glaze, I'll use unicorn spit. But to be honest, to me, if I were to take this white and water it down, that's a glaze. It's a wash. And I can get all of the same effects as if I used a traditional glaze. So that's what I prefer. Is that right or wrong? No, yes, I don't know. But I just like the feel and the way it works by just using the paints alone. And you can find the paints in all the same colors as you can the glazes, aside from the metallics. And I don't know how I feel about metallics. They're awesome, but I'm scared of them, so I haven't really gone there. But for me, yeah, the glazes, I just tend to use the paints or the unicorn spit, water it down, do whatever I have to do to get the same kind of effect that I could get with a glaze. The whitewash and rose gold. Ah, see, I haven't messed with the rose gold. It's pretty. What surprises you, Michelle? Now, Michelle's the one to talk to. Oh, have you worked with the glazes a lot, Michelle? I know she does a lot of stain shading. I don't know how much she's worked with the glazes. That you don't. I don't like the composition of them. It's not my thing. I want something that's got more color to it. Yes, okay. Michelle does a lot of glazing. That's why I thought. I didn't want to say it wrong. Talk to Michelle if you want to know more about glazes. She's amazing. And the stain, yes, the stain glaze. She works it like no other. I can't seem to get the depth of color that I want out of glazes. So maybe that's just my impatience. Sorry, Terry. Darn that work stuff. Okay, and Michelle, you're welcome to drop a photo or a link to your page so that other people can see some of your glaze work. It's insane, you guys. Okay. So I'm going to take the brush. I'm going to lay it in here, and I'm going to follow this line. Now, do I want it to stay that perfect? No, I don't. So I'm going to take another brush and just kind of bring it back. And then I still don't even want it that harsh, so I may feather it a little bit more and work it. Bring it up. And then get my water bottle. I need a couple more hands, you guys. Just a couple. I'm gonna spray the brush again. Why do I spray the brush? There's more control. And see, now if I want to, I can take a little bit of this anchor. Can you see that? So I can begin to kind of just highlight different areas and kind of dry brush to get the effect that I want. That was yellow, y'all. I'm using my hand because really I just want to kind of rub that away a little bit and add a little bit more of that blue back in. So there you go. I'm going to use the water bottle. Kind of blend that out a little bit. There we go. That's a little better. And be patient because sometimes you can, especially with adding the water on there, it'll come off really harsh. But once it dries, it won't be quite as sharp of a contrast as you saw. Okay, and then sometimes I'll expect movement. And so I'll start up here, and then I'll create a story with the eye and kind of just come down and around and then play around in this area. No, this is not unicorn spit. This is, that's the beeswax, wise owl, or wise owl beeswax and snow owl. This is all wise owl paints. Yes, and see, unicorn spit as a glaze, I love it because it acts very much the same way as the wise owl paint does. It's got the chalkiness to it. No, I gotta make sure I'm covered. It's got the chalkiness to it, so I kind of like it. Okay, I'm gonna pull that over. I'm actually taking some of the white, the snow owl, and the yellow and pulling them together a little bit. Back up. There's a bug. That was a little bit saturated. Oh. So, I'm gonna spray it Okay. And then brush it out. And then I'll wipe it away, reveal some of the blue. There we go. Into I'm starting to get a little bit messy. Just playing. I'm just playing. Kind of just want to see what happens. See what I like. See what I don't like. Take a little bit of the white. I think what I'm doing now is I'm taking a little bit of paint and then I'm spraying the brush with water so that I can get a not so dense or opaque look to the color that I'm adding in now. Like I really just want to kind of highlight the highlight right here. The highlight is yellow and I'm adding in some white. Loop right there. Wet my brush again. There we go. Lovely. Sometimes if you just like drop it down there in those little corners and see? You see that? That's okay though. Man. So I just blend it away. No biggie. Sometimes you can just like lay those little colors inside those crevices. And I'm actually going to bring it down here to this crevice too. And then just feather around it kind of. So it stays in that little nook. I'm going to hit this little space right here. Do I need to zoom in, guys? Are y'all able to see anything? Are y'all getting it? Is it making sense at all? Because I know some of it can, like on film, it ends up looking like it's just glare, right? Some of the white and the yellow. Lay it down here. Bring it out. Bring it up a little bit. I suppose, Michelle. Okay, you know what I'll do? I'm going to bring it over to the right so that because so much of this has already been done. But y'all can't really see it, can you? I'm gonna come over here. Bear with me. So I want y'all to really be able to see this. I kind of wish I could turn the video. Oh, well, I've already... Michelle? Okay. So can you see... You can see a little bit of the highlight here. Ignore that because that wasn't a highlight. But there's highlight. I haven't really added it to the bottom yet because I'm wanting to work from that side. But you can see those. There's highlight over here. And then now I'm going to work over there and see if I can't get it to where y'all can see it. I know it's kind of hard. I keep thinking I want to do something different, but there's not too much I can do very different. Okay, we're just gonna go with it, guys. I'm using a phone. Oh, yeah, this would be awesome in a in gray tones. Okay, I'm gonna come over here. And now I've got to readjust and remember what you can and can't see. Can you see? See, once again, I'm delayed because I'm sitting here watching for it to come up on the computer so that I can know what you're actually seeing and what you're not seeing. And see, I'm going to take the yellow and the white, and I'm going to spray my brush. And then I'm going to semi-mirror what we have going on the other side. So I'm going to take it from here all the way to here. Right? Hold on. No big deal. And then I'm just going to kind of brush that out a little bit. It's carried over a little bit more than I wanted to, so I'm just going to water that down a little bit. So, wet the brush, bring it back over, fade it out. Here. And then, same thing. I'm gonna do that. And then just kind of lay right there. Once again. And so yeah, in this area, I'm loving this because I can see the white, yellow color, and then I've got the deep blue, then I've got the turquoise, and then I've also got the wood tone coming through because I've been working it with the brush. So I'm starting to pull some of that paint away. Yeah. Then we'll take some snow wax. places I don't really want it. It's okay, y'all. It is okay. This looks a little bit too harsh to me, so I sprayed my brush, and I'm just gonna feather that a little bit more. Done. This looks a little too harsh. I want it to look like the paint is literally just kind of resting in those little crevices. So, and once again, right there, beautiful. I've got some of the wood tone coming through, contrasting with that yellow and these greens. Heck, yeah, dude. I'm going to take some in here. Once again, feather it out. I don't want it there. Wipe it away. Set it in there a little bit. So once again, even though I'm doing like all of the detail work, my Klingon is coming in handy because I'm able to use it to kind of play and fade and all of that great stuff. I actually want to take some of this is Mermaid Kiss. I haven't played with it yet. I'm gonna take some of the Mermaid Kiss. It's gonna go on this side, opposite of the white. Wipe it away. Spray it down. I'm liking that. Spray this. So it's leaving more of the turquoise pigment in there, just resting in that little nook, which gives it kind of a natural patina effect. Yeah. Are y'all liking it? Terry, what kind of glaze are you talking about? And I apologize if you can't hear me. Are you talking about like the spit glaze by Unicorn Spit, or are you talking about for like the Wise Owl glaze? I'm going to rest this. There's like a little tiny little crease right here where a lot of the turquoise is popping through. I want to kind of bring more of the turquoise out right there. So I'm just gonna like lay it in there. And brush it out. Right here, the same thing. And I know, I got way too much on there. It's fine, I'll brush it out. I think I'm finding my groove. And so now that I've got the base of the anchor and the deep turquoise, I think next now is going through with some Snow Owl and Beeswax, which is white and yellow, highlighting different areas, and then I'm complementing the areas that I highlight with the very, very soft Mermaid Kiss. So like right here would be white and yellow. Right here, Mermaid Kiss. White and yellow on the inside, Mermaid Kiss just to the side of it. Again, that kind of gives me a guide. So while I'm playing, I don't go crazy, because we can tend to do that sometimes. There we go. See that? See, all that time that I wasted procrastinating, I could have just been getting to work, y'all. Yeah. I'm loving this. Bring some more of this turquoise over here. There's more white than I wanted to right there anyways. Girl there. Hey Janine. Wise owl. See, yeah, I would talk to Michelle about that because she's like the queen when it comes to glazes and stuff. I don't particularly care for glazes. I've tried them, I've played with them. As a matter of fact, I got a white glaze and then I got some white paint and watered it down a little bit, and it just, from me and the way that I play, it just works better if I just use paint. Okay, what else? What else? Here. Again. Got some of the sun hitting, so it's kind of, hey Pam, hello. Terry, you gotta get to work. Start playing. Okay, so I think I'm about done for the video because I've got to start getting stuff done for real, for real. Let me see if I'm able to kind of show you. Let me get the camera and come up close. See that sun? Yeah, I'm so paranoid of snakes. We were walking the other day and my daughter literally jumped over a baby copperhead. Okay, so this is actually not sunlight. See my fingertip and how my fingertip is not in the sun? So what you're seeing right there is the effect of having that white and the teal and the yellow kind of resting in there. And you can see the wood tones starting to come through. And so once again, see, my hand's in the sun, my fingertip is not. This is not sun. this is the colors. And the colors. And then you can see down here, that's where I put some of the Mermaid Kiss. And then back here is the white Snow Owl and yellow beeswax. Girl, I get you. I know. I'm totally picking whenever I say that. And so, yeah, I'm going to keep playing. Bless your heart, Terry. Yeah, I agree. That's rough. Here you can see where I laid in some of the paint. And then I basically took that brush and dry brushed a bunch of it away. So I wonder if you can kind of see now where it's going. That part right there, I gotta fix. I'm probably gonna hit that more with the Mermaid Kiss. No worries, Lita. I will make sure it posts so that you can go back and see all of the fun we had. And see, you can see this. I'm probably gonna come back with that Mermaid Kiss over here. Like I said, I'm gonna complement this side. I'm just gonna keep playing. Y'all have seen what I do as far as how to just go in with the different colors. Y'all saw the blending and how you should not be scared to just go in and have some fun. I wish y'all could feel just how smooth and nice this is, because it is. And yeah, so I'm gonna get to this and see if I can't finish some stuff up, figure out what I'm gonna do with this hardware. If anything, I'm kind of loving the way it is right now. And yeah, I will talk to you guys later. But so, I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful Thursday, Friday Eve. Hope you have a wonderful weekend if I don't talk to you before then. And thanks for having fun with me. Because it would be a lot more boring, I guess, if I didn't have people that were actually asking questions and stuff. It probably wouldn't have been nearly as long, huh? I have no idea how long this video is, but I hope y'all enjoyed it. And I'll talk to you later. Be blessed.